Hey everybody, this is Mike with Birdman Gaming. We are trying out a new way of recording, at least for my Eternal gameplay. And this week I'm going to start a little bit on the basics of Eternal. The stuff you need to know in order to actually get good. Um, First off, go up here to cards, let it load. Okay, collections. It takes a couple minutes. I'm actually doing this on my phone, not through the Xbox. So the interface is slightly different. So in Eternal, you have your factions: Fire, Time, um, Justice, Primal, and Shadow. I personally have a problem with 3 of the names. Fire and Shadow is fine. However, I come from playing Magic. Time is a blue effect, not white. All the taking turns time manipulation spells are always blue. Primal is not blue. Primal is a green name, and Justice is a white name. So, Justice is not green. Also, you have Void, which is no color, colorless. Also, in this game, you also have multicolor spells as well. Also, in this game, you have rarities. You have specific card types. Units are your creatures. Sights is a new um, type of spell. It's in Magic. I guess you could say it's an enchant world, or I wouldn't even say a world enchantment. It kind of reminds me of only like one specific enchantment in Magic. So, but at the beginning of your upkeep, you get 1 spell off of it. When you play it, you get 1 spell off of it. After the third one is used, the next turn you get a creature from it. Um, if it survives, it does have a durability, the amount of damage it can take. And to show you an example of one, click. We're just going to pull this one up. Okay. It has a static ability. Then, when you play it, you get one of those 3 spells, the 2, 2, and 4 cost. You get to choose. The beginning of your upkeep, you get another one. And at the end, you get the creature. Now it will still stay on the field until it's destroyed. It can take 3 points of damage. You have spells, which of course we're all used to if we played Magic. You have two different types, regular and fast. Fast meaning instant, regulars are sorceries. Attachment is equipment. It can either go on you or one of your creatures. Power is your lands. Plain and simple, that's lands. Then on this tab, you also have the ability to see what you own, what you don't own. Premium, which is their version of foil or non-premium. The next is sets. We're going to see Homecoming unowned. I want to see what the cards are that you can get. You can always tell the rarity by the little thing on the bottom right above what card type it is. Like here, spell, you've got the little yellow/gold diamond above it. It's a legendary spell. Or here, it's a uncommon weapon. This would be classified as a premium. You can see the little silver diamond in between the 1 and the 0. And you can see a little bit of an animation effect. The non-premium version looks like this. The premium version of that legendary that we were just looking at looks like this. Now some premiums actually look a lot better than that. That looks pretty cool. This would be classified as a rare. And that lantern looks really cool, the way the light's flickering. Okay. I got to build up some gold in order to be able to play in this. To get it. Homecoming is the most recent of the campaigns, and we get a campaign or two in between each set, so it's usually one campaign. Empty Throne is the original set. Jake's Bounty is a campaign. Omens of the Past is the next set. Tale of Horus the Traveler is a campaign. Dusk Road is a set. Dead Reckoning, I believe, yeah, it was a campaign. Fall of Argentpur is a set. Into Shadow campaign. Defiance is a set. Homecoming is a campaign. You can tell the difference between, if you look at next to Defiance, you've got a little what looks like a pack. Same with the Fall of Argentpur. So we'll be getting a set in about a month or two. Okay. So, I'm just going to scroll through these real fast to show you. This is my current collection. You can see above each card how many copies I own by the number of diamonds above it. And yes, when it shows up like this, like this guy does, or the top left corner here, that means it's a new card that I just finished getting 4 of or something, or I just got a copy of, and it's drawing my attention to say, hey, you just got a copy of this. And that was a premium there. Okay, so now that I've gone through a little bit of the absolute basics that you need to know, now we will go through some of the keyworded abilities. Summon. Summon is when you play it. In this game, it doesn't matter if it's played from the graveyard, from your library, or from your hand. As soon as it enters, it does that ability. Entomb, when it dies, it does that ability. Okay? Charge, in magic terms, is haste. Of course, double damage is the double amount of damage. Overwhelm is, in magic terminology, it's trample. Warp means you can play it from the top of your library. It'll actually show on the top of your library to you. Your opponent will not see it, but you will. Exhaust means tap. Or it could also mean, I'm trying to think of some other gaming terminology. I'm so used to playing Magic. Anyway, it just removes it from the ability to be able to block. Quick Draw is first strike in Magic. Quick Draw only works when you're attacking with a creature, not when you're blocking with it. When you're blocking, it's just normal damage. Pledge. Pledge works if it's in your opening hand and it's your first turn. You may discard it to gain a power of that color. Amplify. Amplify is an ability that whenever you cast a spell with Amplify, you may pay an additional X, where X is whatever the card says, to get the ability again, but only when you cast the spell. So, but you can amplify multiple times. Okay, you'll run across cards like this, Gunslinger Ally. Okay, what this does is, whenever you play this and you have another Gunslinger, or you play another Gunslinger after this is in play, the very first one that you play will trigger this to do the ability on the card. It's a attachment classified as a relic. It is, I guess you could say, it's not really an equipment for you, but it gives you an ability, so it's a personal enchantment, if you will. Spark is if the enemy player is taking damage before you play this, it gets bigger. Tribute is if a creature had died this turn before you played it. Renown is when you target it with a spell or a attachment, a weapon, for the very first time after you cast him. Warcry is a busted ability. Okay, the way Warcry works is when you attack with a creature that has Warcry, say this guy, and it does stack, so, like this guy has Warcry of 2, you'll have creatures that have Warcry, then there's a guy in Justice in Green that says he has Warcry for the number of units you control. So that's a lot. That could be up to 12. But what it does is, whenever you attack with a creature that has Warcry, the top unit or attack weapon on top of your deck gets plus, like in this case, +2/+2. It gets, and if you don't draw it next turn and you attack again, it'll get an additional, and so on and so forth. And it counts the number of Warcry triggers through each attack. Absolutely busted ability. Trying to think of, is there any more in red and fire to run through? Oh, reckless. Reckless means it has to attack every turn. Flying, of course, is flying. There are a whole lot of different abilities in this game. It's not as many as Magic has. Okay, Spellcraft is another. When you play, say this, you may pay an additional 3. If you do, you play Torch on top of that. So, and the Torch will actually resolve first, and it torches. Okay, now we're in time. Time and Justice both have an ability called Empower. In Magic, we call it Landfall. Whenever you play a power, do the ability. Life Force. Very self-explanatory what it does if you look at the card. Scout. In Magic, we call it Scry. Look at the top card of your library. You may put it on the bottom. Inspire. Whenever you draw something and this is in play, it immediately affects the card that you draw. And it's a permanent effect. It's not just until end of turn. Nightfall effects for a grand total of, I think, 2 turns. Both players draw an additional card on their turn. I think it goes to the opponent's turn, then your turn, and then it ends. But they also take a point of damage. Both players. Deadly. In Magic, we call it Death Touch. Infiltrate is when the creature attacks and is not blocked. When it deals damage to the opponent, infiltrates to the opponent, it does that. Endurance. Endurance is a pseudo vigilance. The creatures attack and tap to attack. However, at the end of turn, they untap. Echo. When you draw this, you draw another copy of it. You'll see cards like this guy. This guy is interesting. He's 1-time influence, a grand total of a 1-drop. He costs 1, but you have to have a time influence in order to cast him. Okay? If you have 5-time, is it 5? Yeah, 5-time influence at the start of your turn, he gets +1/+1 for every card in your hand. He's really, really solid, and he can get really beefy really quick. Because your max hand size, I think, is 9. I'm just scanning real fast. Seeing if there's... Okay, there's something else. Ultimates only happen once when the card's in play. And each one triggers differently. Some of them you'll have to pay mana into or power into. Some of them, like this guy, triggers off a creature that's when you play that has a power, an attack power of 5 or greater. Yeah, this is gonna be a semi-long video just running you through the basics of abilities. You have you have multiple creature types like dinosaurs. Strangers. Now, strangers is an interesting creature type because they span all 5 colors and they feed off of each other. In Magic, we know them as slivers. I can't think of any other creature type in any other card game that's similar. Each one will have an ability that says strangers do this. Killer is an ability. Killer lets you attack with a creature the turn you play it, but only to attack an opposing creature. It's the only ability that allows you to actually attack creatures instead of a player. I'm still a little scratchy with the throat, but ambush. Ambush on a creature means you can play it during your opponent's turn. Now, you can't play it at any time during your opponent's turn. Unfortunately, you're given specific windows. Either during the attack step or at end of turn is when you're able to cast creatures with ambush. Um, that's also when you can cast fast spells with the exception of counters. Counters can be used to counter other spells. And, I mean, you can always respond to spells with ambush, I do believe. I've never tried, but I do believe you can. And we're going to go quick here. And if you guys want to see something specific, you can pause and take a look. This is a stupid spell. It's fun, but it's stupid. There's a legendary 4-drop that allows you, when it dies, to shuffle your library and your graveyard back into each other. So it gets really dumb. I think it's a 4-drop. I've got it. Hold on. Not that guy. Not that. Not there. I guess he's not a 4-drop. He might be a 5. I know he's like a 4/4 or something. Or is it this guy? No, it's not that guy. Nope, not that guy either. Another ability, Bond. And Bond is an interesting ability. It allows you when you cast him, you may tap another creature of the same creature type, in this case Sentinel, to reduce the card's cost by the exhausted creature's power. So if you have an 8 power Sentinel, tap him. This guy's now 8 drop. That requires 4 time influence. Now we're going into Justice. Depleted Me is it only is referring to power. You play a land tapped, essentially. There is no land destruction. So you can't take away a specific type of influence, as far as I'm aware. However, you can lower the player's maximum amount of power. There's another one. Mentor. When a card with Mentor is played, you may tap one of your creatures as a student, and the student gains that effect. Like this guy gives a student +1/+1. Revenge. Revenge. When the creature with Revenge dies, put it in the top 10 cards of your library. When you draw it, put it directly into play. Draw a card to replace that card draw. It then gains Destiny and loses Revenge. Destiny basically says it's played off the top of your library when you draw it. Life Steal is life gain, or life link in Magic. Aegis. Aegis is a pseudo troll shroud, or hexproof, that can only work once, essentially. You give something Aegis, they can target it, however, the spell will fizzle. It will also break the Aegis, and then they can target it again and do whatever, whether it's kill or whatever. You'll see stuff that say sigils. Those are your basic powers. Then you have your multicolor and whatnot that are non-basics. This guy, for being an uncommon, is super strong. And you see what she does. She gets really big. Silence is take all the... It basically blanks the card. Removes all text from the text box. Hmm. Okay, I thought I saw another ability that I hadn't ran across and explained yet. Stun. There we go, that's a good one. Stun. You tap down a enemy unit essentially. It does not untap on his opponent's next turn. On your opponent's next turn. Green is the color that has the only two board wipes in the game currently. Straight up board wipes. There are creatures in other colors that are board wipes, but here's an example of Destiny. And you can see by hovering over the card, it pulls up a larger image, and then you can see what the abilities do. It's another thing I actually like about this game because it actually will sit down and explain stuff to you. I've been playing this game for 3 years now. And to answer your question, yes, Deadly and Death Touch and First Strike still works just like the same as in Magic. When you're attacking with a creature with that ability. Berserk. Okay. As you can see, Berserk. When the creature attacks, give it Reckless to attack a second time. And it can only be used once, and when it can only be used when it first attacks. You're given the chance to trigger it. I didn't want to pull that guy up. I wanted to pull this guy up. He's actually a promo. You can see by the purple gem above what type of card it is. Unlike Magic, you can have multiple legendaries in play of the same name and type at any given time. So now we're in Shadow. I think I've ran across all the different abilities. Shadow, of course, is all about death. We're gonna kill things. All the things. Of course, unblockable is self-explanatory. So if you actually come to this from Magic, it's not that hard to actually transition over to it, honestly. Um, I did, again, back 3 years ago. I fell in love with this game, and I played it constantly. I was in the early parts of the beta, when they got it to where you could invite friends to the beta. I invited as many friends as I possibly could. Um, at that year's Gen Con, I got an Eternal t-shirt that I wear occasionally. Um, and one of my friends that went with me, I actually, he got a shirt as well. And we sat down and played some games. Um, and I got some more invites to the beta. The next year, they opened it up with the very first set, and the game's been popping off ever since. Um, I got into it because I was looking, originally I was looking for um a some events to do at Gen Con in 2016 that were free and not very time consuming. I was uh, I I was helping out around the convention, and so I just wanted something that was, you know, a couple hours, and I got to sit around and play something new, you know. So I was looking around on the event catalog, and this popped up. I'm like, I've never heard of this. So I went online and looked at it. I signed up for the beta, got access, and was like, okay, I'm good with this. After a couple months of playing, I want to say right before Gen Con, the NDA opened. And I was able to record and post videos. Um, and then from there, my friends were like, hey, I like this, let me get in. I forgot to mention another ability, and it's on her. Void Bound. As you can see, the card that gets Void Bound, after it dies again, it cannot leave the graveyard, the void. Okay. This is an interesting card. Okay, so if I remember correctly, it actually counts even if it's not in your hand. It counts cards being played, non-power. And when you play it, you get the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. All four are Pale Riders. Each one has a different name. And as you could have seen, different abilities: Death Touch, Flying, Killer, and Lifesteal. Now we're in the multicolors, just so that you guys can stop and take a look. We're in red, green first. Red, blue next. Red, black. Green, white. White, blue. White, black, which is actually fun. May not be competitive, but it is fun. Green, blue. Green, black. Black, blue. Then we're in the even more colors. 3 color cards. And 2 5 colors. Then we go into the colorless. And that is my personal collection of the game. I know that was a lot to take in. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through gauntlets, what each of these are. Gauntlets, campaigns, puzzles, forge, event, casual, ranked, and draft. I may not play them, but I can walk you through them. Every day, you do get daily quests or challenges. And you get one per day, and each one awards you chests. The ones I have currently are all silver chests. Also, occasionally, you'll have a promo pop up. Promos you gain through your first victory in versus gameplay each day, on top of also being awarded a pack and some other stuff. So, you can actually purchase stuff in the store. I'll let you take a look real fast before I end the video. You can purchase packs, totems, promo. That's a promotional thing going on right now. That's cool. Doom themed decks. You can purchase boxes, of course. Homecoming, which is, like I said earlier, new campaign. Here's the promotional stuff going on right now. The Gear Starter Bundle, these are, I do believe all of these are special avatars for the game, or the card backs. As you can see, you can purchase boxes, single packs. Unfortunately, you can't save up your gold, and purchase boxes. I wish you could, honestly, because I would save up a lot and buy a couple boxes. I've opened a box worth of packs once. Just to show you the thing with campaigns. Homecoming's the newest. Little check mark means I have completed it. And the purchase price is 25,000 gold, or 1,000 gems. Premium, 2,000 gems. Okay, well, we're going to end the video there. If you like this video, of course, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell icon to be notified when I post another video. And I will see you guys tomorrow with some Anthem gameplay. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. I love you guys.